My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC picks and DraftKings lineups run by professional fighters and MMA insiders. Every week, I join Nick Newell, professional fighter, professional model, and ESPN Top 10 guest, along with Dan Kramer, UFC fighter, Bellator fighter, Ultimate Fighter alumni, and Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. And we break down every single fight, the betting odds, the DraftKings picks, and we set you up for success. This week, we're breaking down the Blaydes versus Lewis fight night. Next up at UFC Fight Night, Blaydes versus Lewis, we have Aleksei Oleinik versus Chris Daukaus.
And I nailed those names.
This is unbelievable. The names you just called him Daukaus.
Because Daukaus, I'm going to edit it out. I don't get to look stupid in these videos.
No, of course not.
Daukaus is, isn't he the old?
Is it Daukaus? It's Daukaus.
Daukaus.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
Daukaus.
Daukaus is the old mayor of New York. That's why that's like.
Oh, that's why you said it. Okay.
Yeah.
Just leave it in. Leave it in.
I'm not leaving that.
Next
up at UFC Fight Night, we have Aleksei Oleinik versus Chris Daukaus.
And I nailed that. Oleinik. Of all the names I've gotten wrong, you would think I would get this one wrong, and I got that one right. Go ahead.
You actually said his first name was Alexis, so you spelled.
The spelling is right. The spelling is right. I'm worried about the spelling.
Alexis Oleinik versus Chris Daukaus for Angelo.
We're going to get the picks correct. We are not going to get the names correct. That's just how this goes. Anyway, this is another interesting fight. These odds are actually pretty close to accurate. My question mark here, though, is Chris Daukaus fought one of our very good friends, Parker Porter. We all know him personally. Good guy, good friend. He won that fight, but Parker took that fight on incredibly short notice. He just had a baby, and he wasn't in a camp and then took the fight because he got the opportunity. He took it to get the opportunity, but he wasn't necessarily ready to go, right? You can't say no to that opportunity, and he didn't. And Parker looked good in that fight. Ultimately, he gassed and it went the other way, but he looked good in that fight. That's what worries me here. So I think Chris Daukaus is the pick and should win, and he's been winning and has looked great. But if I'm using our good friend as the bar here, Parker looked great in that fight. And if he had a full camp and had great cardio, it might have been a different situation. And that worries me a little bit against such a veteran in Oleinik. This guy's he's like an Arlovsky, but a little younger and a little more one-dimensional, but he's very effective. So Nick, I'll go with you. You know Parker very well. I don't know if you think that barometer that I used made any sense, but what are your thoughts here?
No, Parker's my buddy. I trained with him. He was in the middle of switching a camp and doing all this stuff and then opening up his own spot and had a baby, yada, yada, yada. But he took the fight. You take the fight, you take the fight. And it was a good back and forth. But Daukaus' boxing, once he got comfortable, looked really, really clean. His last fight, his boxing looked super clean. He knocked the guy out in like 49 seconds, an 8-0 undefeated fighter. He's lost in the past. I believe he is a different fighter now. Aleksei Oleinik is crazy. He's beaten Travis Brown. He wins with like these crazy submissions. He just beat Fabricio Verdum. But when he beat Fabricio Verdum, he was going wild and throwing all these hooks. And Verdum looked out of it. He was just kind of shelling up and not really fighting. So that was like an odd win. And obviously, he's very good. He's very tricky. He's got good jiu-jitsu. But Daukaus, I think, is a good wrestler. I believe he wrestled before. He's got a good, solid base. And his hands are just so crisp. I think he's going to catch Oleinik. I think he's going to knock him out. But he's been taken down. He's been submitted before. So I'm not confident enough in this. But if some things move around, I might add Daukaus to my lineup. But right now, he's not in it.
Yeah, so Daukaus is in my lineup. I think the story of this fight personally is either KO, Daukaus wins, or submission, Oleinik wins. If Oleinik can march forward, take him down, you'll probably submit him or can, where Daukaus, has the much better striking, and I think we'll get it done that way. But Dan, I'll let you make your pick here. Do you agree with that?
Here's what I'll say on this one. So I've trained with Oleinik a few times. He's down at ATT. Awesome dude. Guy's got freaking 75 fights. I mean, he's fought everybody, and he's beaten a lot of really good guys. Daukaus, his boxing has looked really good, but I just don't think he's fought. I mean, he definitely has not fought at the same level of competition as Oleinik. He's looked great in a lot of his recent fights. His last fight was the most impressive win, but it was a first round quick knockout, which isn't always telling of, this is the fight game. You can land a shot early, and it's not always telling of who the better fighter is. Not saying he wasn't, but I'm just saying we didn't learn much in that last fight, I don't think. The Parker Porter fight, like you said, Porter took it short notice. Prior to that, it was a lot of regional stuff. So I don't think Daukaus has truly been tested yet. He's looked good in those scenarios, whereas Oleinik, on the other hand, has fought everybody and fought tough guys recently. And even at, I think he's 43 years old, he finds a way to make fights, even the ones he loses. Derek Lewis, he had him in trouble at one point. He had him in real trouble in that first round. So I'm going with Oleinik. I'm probably not going to put him in my DraftKings lineup, but I'm going with him. I don't think it'll be a clean double leg or something like that, but he figures out ways, scrambles somehow to either get to the back or get on the ground. And he's got a lot of tricky submissions. And if Daukaus can't make this a pure boxing match, I think Oleinik could figure out a way to pull off a win here with the experience and with his ground game. And I haven't seen much of Daukaus on the ground. He's got so many first round finishes. I haven't really seen much of his grappling. So I'm going to take Oleinik for the upset here, but I'm not putting either in my DraftKings lineup.
Yeah, I mean, we have the whole fight card is very interesting, but this is the third or fourth fight where we have an older vet versus a younger surging up and comer, and we'll see if that veteran crafty can get it done. So Jacob, I'll let you make your pick here. You going with the vet, or you going with sort of the young knockout power guy?
Yeah, Dan is back on track. It's good. Finally, Dan, you're back on track. Oleinik gets a job done. He walks through Daukaus, gets him on the ground, and submits him. He wins. He's in my lineup. It's as easy as that. All
right. So short and sweet. We're split here. 2 versus Daukaus, 2 for Oleinik. So we'll see how this fight breaks down. It'll be another fun one to watch. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.